Nanda Shiva Parsho Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niryatayami Sangye Chudam Soki Choknam La Jakchu Bardu Dagni Kyap Sushi Dagi Chunyen Ki Pe Sunam Ki Drola Vinchir Sangye Druparsho Sangye Chudam Soki Choknam La Jamju Bardu Dagni Kyap Suji Dagi Chunyen Ki Pe Sunam Ki Drola Vinchir Sangye Druparsho Sangye Chudam Soki Choknam La Janchu Bardu Dagni Kyap Suchi Dagi Chunyen Ki Pe Sunam Ki Drola Vinchir Sangye Druparsho.
Those last verses, it's A, B, not A, B, B, B. So you repeat the same tune that you do on the first line, on the third line. It's slightly off.
Let's talk about it later. I've already moved on. So I just want to give you guys a disclaimer. For the first question, and maybe all of them, I'm not necessarily expecting that people remember this, but I just thought it would be really helpful to give us some context of where we're at to discuss this part a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Maybe the first part of it.
It's your quiz.
Let's see.
Your funeral, buddy.
You do what you like.
If we don't kick the lower branch out of the middle way for thinking that reasons have some power of their own, should we then accept the Sankhya's as Buddhists because they believe things are produced? Why or why not? Let's start.
That's what Kajapri says.
Gyaltsab.
Gyaltsab says.
We should accept the Sankhya's as Buddhists?
No.
Yeah, that's a Telnger. Yes.
He's
So-
saying we shouldn't kick the middleweight people out
Right.
because they just
So-
had a little beer to drink.
Right.
Yeah,
So
so
why?
she's right.
I'm giving the Telnger.
She's giving the
If we
Telnger.
kick them out,
Yeah.
that means that we should accept all Sankhya's.
Right,
because
so
they
why?
say
But what's the
there's
reason?
no self.
I agree.
Right, okay, thank you. Because they say, well, not, why should we accept the Sankhya's?
We
Not-
shouldn't.
Why shouldn't we?
Because
Why shouldn't we then accept the
Right.
Sankhya's?
Because they don't believe that the soul is part of the five people.
But why would we accept them? So there's two parts to it. We would accept them because they say that things are made. Thank you.
That's a
Thanks.
question, all right?
What? I mean, I was looking for somebody to know the Telnger, which she did, and then to remember why. Oh, it says it right here in the question.
Yeah,
Because they
right.
believe things are produced. Who wrote that question?
Some guy.
Some dude. Anybody? This is the part that I thought we might not remember, and I didn't totally understand myself. What are implications for Buddhists? People who are already accepted as Buddhists.
Just say, in what do you mean, implications of what?
Like, so if we should accept the Sankhya's as Buddhists because they believe things are produced, what would that, or how does that kind of, in the text, how does that become something that we start discussing about Buddhists? It's that, well, I'll just and I'm not even sure I understood this very well. I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. It raises the question that lower schools accept that things aren't what they seem. So that could mean that they're all middle way. Gyaltsab J says that we are confusing sets and subsets.
Oh, yeah.
And so Tibetan for set and subset used in the text,
Oh, yeah, we had a new word.
different word that was combinations of words that you know.
Right.
Not Rick, it's Rick. It's Rick.
No, but maybe you're not far off.
Yeah.
Kyab.
No.
I'll just highlight it. Kyabja and Kyabje.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I was,
The pervader and the pervaded.
yeah, the pervader and the pervaded. And that's what he was using, and Geshe seemed to be familiar with it, so I guess it's not totally uncommon
Well,
to use Kyabja and Kyabje as
not very common.
yeah,
Yeah.
pervader and pervaded. Thing that
Salute.
I think, anyway, your English seem to both mean the same thing.
Yeah, I
So
know.
which
I
is-
just noticed that.
So which is which?
I know, that's
Thing that
my...
is pervaded.
I believe that the...
John's
Maybe
object.
is
Yeah.
Oh, but that isn't J.
Which one's
But
which?
still, Geshe has to tell us, but I think Kyabja is the set, and then the Kyabje is the subset.
Which one's
Is
the
that
big
right?
one? Which one's the
Opposite.
little one?
Okay.
Yeah, Kyabje is cars, and Kyabja is Toyotas.
Oh.
Object.
Ah, is-
Oh, okay, right,
okay,
right, right,
okay.
right, right, right.
Pervader, so that's the...
Pervading.
Okay, that's the pervaded.
Pervading.
Okay, okay.
We've reached this is an easier question, maybe. We've reached the second part of a division that happened earlier in the text. What are these divisions? Tibetan? We reached the second part. Does that sound familiar at all to anyone? Second part of the division?
Familiar, ain't gonna cut it.
But I'm just curious if it even sounds familiar. So we reached the Nipa. The divisions were... I'll just... nobody knows. Oops, I should have done the Tibetan separately. There was a proof... So he was talking about...
Oh, yeah.
we went all the way back to that verse by Joseph J. where we were talking about like people who see things normally.
Good
Does that mean that since they're seeing, if people who see things normally see things correctly, does that mean that they've reached nirvana?
Right.
That was the tongue gear that
Is
he
that
used.
a tongue gear is the question.
It is a tongue gear, and then we've reached finally, after a long time, the incidental points that were attached to that
Oh.
tongue gear.
Oh,
Sharjung is incidental
Right.
points, which I was going to ask you,
Right.
but
And specifically, we made a defense of the fact that it is a tongue gear.
oh, it wasn't a question whether that was a tongue gear. He was just presenting that as a tongue gear to say that it's silly to think that people with your power see things correctly.
Okay, I think we did argue that. I think we got into a big thing about whether or not that was a tongue
I
gear.
think that was a different tongue gear earlier in the text. I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I think. I don't have to go back and look at it. According to Geltz of J, what would be the karmic results of believing in Yopa or believing in Mepa?
Oh, that I've got. So maybe someone else or
Yeah, let's see if someone else can get it. Word's looking like he's almost got it.
you and I debated this
Synapses
as a
are
pool,
firing.
so I know I've got
They
it.
are activating.
Karmic results?
Yeah, it's cute and clever. It's gonna be.
Yeah.
Of course it's got to be.
Anybody else?
Just about karma.
Tim's close. I can see it in this
Karma
bit.
and consequences. If you believe in that.
Yeah, you could say that. That might help you remember. Well, that might help you remember the answer.
I don't even know
Oh,
what's
it's the
Yopa
same
and
result.
Mepa.
regardless.
Oh, you don't know what's Yopa Mepa? Stanley, tell Hasa what's Yopa Mepa. Okay.
I can
Cricket.
tell.
Cricket.
Well, hold on.
It's cis.
It-
No, non-cis.
Yeah, but specifically, that's true. But that's what the words literally mean. But when we use it in this text and in general, Geshe Michael said it earlier today. Yopa and Mepa, they're kind of beliefs. They're
The
beliefs.
two extremes.
Yeah, the two extremes. Yopa and Mepa are the two extremes.
Hey, that's some minor part of the question you've answered.
Yay.
Jotpa is absolutism and Metpa is nihilism.
Yeah.
Right?
So what would be the karmic results of believing in them? Go ahead,
In
Ben.
believing in that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yopa sends you to heaven and Meva sends you to hell.
Yep.
It was kind of cute.
Yep.
Yeah, totally. Not heaven in a good way either.
Higher rebirths and feeling good.
Yeah.
And then Mepa is being stuck in samsara and then lower rebirths and suffering.
Wow.
Actually, the lower rebirths and suffering part came in the verse that we didn't translate yet. It was just the next line down. But the being stuck in samsara part we did cover at the very end of my last class. Finish, you take Zibrin, por favor.
Okay.
I think it means you.
He said, I'm going to give you a donut after your fasting is over.
What a good guy.
Big
I seem to hear that in every sentence.
That's nice.
What?
I don't care what you say. I think Nick's alright.
Donut.
Thanks, Nick.
Hey, my pleasure.
Oh, that's pretty good. You have to tell Bao, okay? Tell her I drank it. And it was not as good as Vimla's almond milk, but it was okay. No, don't say that. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Luckily,
Go for it.
Where were we? Okay. Tena Tawa Tinini.
Tawa?
Yeah, Tawa.
Oh, Tawa. That's better. I knew you said that.
대리나 따와 디니 korwe giu yempe mi changwa tak par mingyor wa shindu cholwar mingyor ro.
You guys are trying harder, and I appreciate it. Okay. No, you're not just. You're actually pausing and thinking, and
No mention of
it's what
science.
Sugang does all the time. Okay.
Let that Singaporean show us up.
Yeah. That Indonesian farmer. Okay. If you want to have, if you're feeling low, ask him to do his Indonesian farmer imitation, and then you will cheer up. Okay. Therefore, those two views, are the very cause of samsara, and the two views are here, yepe and mepe. Everything exists, or everything doesn't exist. Either everything exists the way it seems to, or if it doesn't, then nothing's real at all. Then it has no reality at all. Okay. Which are the two classic yata and metta, two classic extreme views. And then he says those two are the cause of everything in samsara. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And it, I didn't read this. I couldn't understand it until I was just sitting here with Nick, and suddenly it hit me. What's sangwa mean?
Pure?
Yeah, or clean. But mitsangwa is also a synonym for poo-poo.
Oh.
The unclean. Yeah, it's a name for poo-poo in ancient scripture. So that would be like trying to clean poo-poo up with poop. Okay.
Right.
Like formula
Right.
poop.
In America.
And everything Geltsev says is like that. It's everything he says has a deeper point, and it's most of the time it just goes over our head. Anyway. Using either concept,
It's like
accepting either viewpoint, that everything exists the way it seems to, or if it doesn't exist that way, it can't exist at all. Using either one of those viewpoints, it's like trying to clean poop with poop. Okay.
Can we translate it with polishing a turd?
Hey, you're the translator.
I'm gonna think about
Polishing a
that.
turd with a turd.
I like it. I think it's beautiful. Polishing a turd with a turd. I like it. Mingyur
I
Shindu.
might not.
But it's kind of you that feeling, right?
I go.
And if you, well, he used sort of a high word for poo-poo.
Okay. Shit sounds better.
Trying to out feces or something. Okay, tarpa here means cleaned up, right?
Okay.
Yeah, you can't get perfume by using poop on poop. Okay, Shindu, Toar Mingyur.
You won't be freed by that.
Yeah, you would never be liberated by as long as you held to those two viewpoints, you would never be free. And to prove that, he has a Lungi Drupche.
Rinchen Changwa.
He proves it with a statement from Rinchen Tewa.
Ratnavali.
Yeah, or Ratnamala, Ratnavali, same thing. Okay. But not Mani Ratna. Just kidding. Okay.
Jewel poo?
Jewel.
No.
Ratnamola.
Go.
Rin.
I got to turn the ignition. Go. Give me some poetry sound. Dampa, dampa, bum, bum, bum. Yeah, not so clumsy. Yupapa de dendor do, mepapa de ngindor do. Okay, it's poetry. It's poetry. Okay, who is it?
Arya Nagarjuna.
Yeah, so there's an extra pressure here. Oh, I guess you don't accept Arya Nagarjuna in your discussion of Arya Nagarjuna. Okay, here we go. So in the string of jewels, and it means a rosary made of like diamond balls, diamond beads. Yeah. And I looked it up because I thought it might have to be Yupawa. but it's not. He really wants to say ER. Those existeners,
Existencers.
they're not, those existeners, they're going to go to the higher realms. And those non-existeners, they're going to go to the hell realms. But neither of them gets out of the wheel of life. That's the implication, okay? And that's a good proof for saying you can't clean poop or poop. You accept either one, you have a problem, which was his assertion, right? Okay. She Sung So. Then he leaves it at that, okay? Now the second part from above, and I gave it to you, okay? Here. Read.
Nipani. I'm a little bit. This root text. So in my version, maybe you took it out of yours. There was like a quote here. Oh, I got it. Okay, sorry. I was looking at a different version.
I put a note in here.
Yeah.
It's just confirming the yapapa and the mepapa.
Got it.
So either they're both wrong, which is probably unlikely. Probably unlikely. Anyway, okay.
This is the rest of the verse. Right?
Well, wait. I want you to read this part.
Oh, Nipani. Oh.
Yeah.
Nime tope jowa tempa.
Good. It says, this is a typical Buddhist text where it says part 2. And it doesn't tell you what it is. So your responsibility is to go back and find what is part 2. Okay, he'll say now we reach part 2 and he just jumps into it. There's no chapter heading. We put them in our text. It's the one thing we do include in our translations. It's the one, and I'll tell you something interesting. When I tried to do that with Yeshe Wangchu's text, Rinpoche objected.
Wow.
He said, who are you to put categories in this guy's text? I wanted to have chapters, and he said, who are you to run it one straight book from beginning to end, no chapter headers, no sections. I'm like, Rinpoche. And he said, who are you to add to this person's work, So, but now I get to do it.
Yeah, you get it.
By the way, I've seen it badly done, and the problem is it looks like the author.
Right.
So.
But we put a
Don't they sometimes have an outline?
They often have an outline, but they don't. No, someone else will often write an outline. Sapche to the Lamrim Chamo is memorized by many people. The outline to the great Lamrim of Tsongkhapa is a separate book. Well, no, it was derived from his book. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I filled it in for you. Translate ni me tope toward them, but not easy.
The absence of the discrepancy is freedom, or something like that. Or?
Yeah, you could say that. A demonstration, demba,
right.
that you can get free if you finally realize how there's no discrepancy, or there's no two.
That's the tempa.
Yeah.
Demonstration that.
So these two aren't the two views, Geshe? This is like the...
I believe it is, actually. Well, he's going to give a new nime. Okay, it's going to be ngupo and ngume. Neither ngupo nor ngume.
Functioning thing nor non-functioning?
No, neither functions or not functions.
Well, he's going to discuss it because ngupo can mean all things.
Right.
It can be a synonym for che, or sometimes it can mean functioning thing. So it's bhava in Sanskrit. So you don't know till you get into the explanation whether he's talking about all things or he's talking about all working things. Okay.
Yeah. So
but the two here is going to be choosing between ngupo and ngume. Don't choose. The choice is don't choose. Okay, and that's what Nime means here. No duality.
Okay, so
okay. If someone says, "I'll give you a choice: is everything real or is everything unreal?" We say neither of the above.
Right.
Okay.
The choice
you can translate it as neither of the above. Okay, Nime here means neither of the above. Okay. Okay. And I assume this is root text. I didn't have time to bold it out. So. Translate. And take your time and translate.
Okay.
Think about it. Tie the pieces together.
Realizing functioning and non-functioning.
Or here,
frees you from
a-
believing in the great salsa.
Totally understanding what's real and not real.
Cool.
You see?
Yeah.
Totally understanding what's real and not real.
Frees you from the great self. Maybe meaning frees you from
Come on, Human Dictionary.
Mahatma.
Good. Those Mahatmas who realize, you see?
Oh, okay.
You'll
Yeah.
be like them.
Yeah, because they understand the difference between reality and unreality, what's real and what's unreal,
Yeah.
those Mahatmas get free,
Yeah.
get freedom.
Okay.
Okay? He's talking about bodhisattvas. Or,
Some great
well, it doesn't have to be bodhisattva, does it? It could be lower.
general super fellas.
Yeah. So the Tibetan for Mahatma is Dangni Chambu. And it means those great beings who realize that they should neither accept that things exist or accept that things don't exist. They should go between. Okay? Or real or unreal. Okay? Yeah, here it's not functioning thing or non-functioning thing. It doesn't
What's
mean
real
that.
and unreal.
Yeah, what's real and what's unreal.
Cool.
It depends on the context, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should I read?
Please, and don't say gal.
I definitely said Kel.
I'm sure. Okay, cal.
Otherwise, we'd call it.
Man, that food, even your food smells good today. Just kidding.
All right.
Cal de tawa
Tawa Keni Ki
ki
Ni Cholna Kang Ki Cholwar Ngyor Shena Jeme Ngel Yin Te Te Tana Cholwa Misi Nyamdu Sampa Ho.
Yeah, this is really sweet. Okay. Tawa de ni ki mito.
Freedom from the TVs. Yeah, you cannot become free from the discrepancy if your view contradicts that.
Cannot
No.
buy those two.
Yeah.
Those-
You can't
Oh, yeah.
reach freedom if you believe either that everything is as it seems, or that if it's not that way, it doesn't exist at all. Okay? If you're stuck in either of those two places, if you're right, Kelte,
Yeah.
if you're stuck in either one of those two places, you're never going to get liberated.
Got it.
I prefer to use liberate for Chol, and I prefer to use free for
Tarpa.
Tarpa, and sometimes it's a difference. Okay? So let's just make that a standard. So if believing things exist can't get me free,
standard.
and believing things don't exist can't get me free, well, what can get me free? Okay, Kangidro. What's left? Okay, yeah, Shena. And then Gyaltsab being probably the hardest core logician in Tibetan history, which is the problem with this text. He's like, you met Nungel.
Nungel, they're in direct contradiction.
They are in direct contradiction, but what he means to say is pensum bangel.
You can't have.
Can't
They
destroy.
can't.
It's the kind of contradiction that eliminates all other possibilities.
Yeah.
The kind of contradiction.
Big contradiction. You see, like changing and unchanging. That's a pensum bangel. Everything in the universe is either one or the other.
Mutual.
Yeah, it's a mutually exclusive. Yeah. One has to be true. You know, they cover everything in the universe.
Okay.
Blue and not blue. Anything that's not in that category don't exist.
I don't know if we have a
Okay,
word.
blue and not blue.
It's like
Exhaustive
Yeah.
contradictions.
Very exhaustive
Yeah, he means to say pensum pango, which is
Right.
they are exhaustive contradictions. Blue
New term.
and not blue are pensum pango. Blue and yellow are just gel. Okay, no one thing can be both. All blue or all yellow. A Blue Angel's hat can be both. Helmet.
Hat.
Okay,
Milady.
but no, not no. A Blue Angel's helmet can be blue and yellow, but it can't be all yellow and all blue at the same time. Okay, but there's other colors. There's other colors possible, but this kind of gawa, blue and not blue. I mean, everything in the universe is either one. Okay. So the guy's question is reasonable, eminently reasonable. Okay, look, Gyaltsen, I mean, look, whoever you are, Nagarjuna, either things exist or they don't exist. And you tell me both of those are taking me to hell? You know, I mean, cut me some slack here. Okay? There's nothing else left. There's no Pungsumba.
Okay.
That's what he means.
So
There's
the
no
point is not that they're in contradiction. The point is more focused on
the point is that they're exhaustive. Yeah. Therefore, since if those two, since those two are exhaustive contradictions,
it's impossible to become.
I guess you must be saying we can't achieve liberation. If believing things exist can't get you liberated, if when you believe that things exist you cannot be liberated, and if when you believe things don't exist you can't be liberated, then you can't be liberated.
You may think.
Okay. If you think that to yourself, now we're going to get an explanation. And by the way, these two lines are a response to this objection. Okay. Nagarjuna's two lines are a response to this objection.
Got it.
Okay.
Ngopo lama tempar, ngopo mepar, mingyarte, ngopo shendu gyorpe, shikpa, la ngame tunde pechir.
Yeah, I got hung up on shikpa because it's a tense of the word destroy, but it's a weird tense that nobody uses. And it can also mean examine, as you can see in this dictionary entry that I put in there. But in rare cases, it can mean a. Okay?
Cheek.
Yeah, cheek. There's another possibility. It means pungsumba cheek.
Wow.
Okay? There is a other thing that's not in those two, is what I'm talking about. Okay? And yeah, here's how he says it. He says, Lupala matember, lupa mepa. Just because you can't, just because you refuse to deal with existing things doesn't mean you're dealing with non-existing things. I'll say it again. Just because you refuse to deal with existing things doesn't mean you want to deal with non-existing things.
Wow.
Okay? Just because you refuse that something is real doesn't mean you've said it's unreal. Okay? Because there might be another alternative. Okay? There might be some other alternative. And that's what we're calling not real, which means empty. Unreal in the sense of empty. We don't mean non-existent when we say unreal. We mean another possibility. That's what this sentence says, okay? When we deny that things exist, we're not saying they don't exist. We're just saying they exist in a different way. Okay?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That you didn't think of.
Right.
So you say, don't say ngopo me bar, but ngame is, and that's what we mean by ngame. That there's another option than ngopo me bar.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Okay?
All right.
That's okay. Now he's going to put it the other way. He's going to flip it. Same point. This is Gyaltsen J. He's amazing.
Ngame lama tempar ngopo minjupte. Ngame makapar ngopo minjup pechir. Yeah, so it's just the opposite. Ngame la tempar. And just because you refuse to deal with non-existing things doesn't mean that it's an existence.
Well, this one's tough, okay? It's worse than that.
You can still deny the existence.
No, it's terrible.
You cannot be referring to unreality. When you refuse to deal with unreality, okay? When you refuse to deal with unreality, it's not necessarily the case that you're dealing with reality. Okay.
But kind of, but then it gets worse.
Because
those are not established as existing things.
If you didn't refuse things that didn't exist, if you refuse to cancel things that don't exist, that doesn't mean you're going to things that do exist. Okay, it's difficult. It's not quite right. It doesn't quite fit. It'd be more comfortable for me if it were Lun Min Kak. You know, maybe you want to check, but I have a feeling he means it. I mean, it would be nice if a word was missing, or he left out a word. I mean, if he put in a word that wasn't there. But I have a feeling it is this, and I have a feeling he's being super cute. So you got to chew on that, okay?
If you refuse,
Lo min magag. If you don't refuse the unreal, after all, you don't come up with the real, do you? So let's leave it like that. Okay, I'll say it again. If you don't refuse the unreal, which means you accept the unreal, okay, it doesn't mean there can't be things that are real. If you don't refuse the unreal, it doesn't mean you don't accept the real.
very cute, I guess.
Okay, this is Kyoto J. Let's move on.
Okay.
When you're confused, go.
Tena ngop
Tena
tena ngopo tang ngopo me pa ni pentsun tu pe rang shin tong pa ni tu ngun sun tu yong su she pe mik ta me pe ye she ki ten hin pe na pa dak ni chempo pakpa nampar dro war gyoro.
Okay, let's do the easy part.
He tells us who
At the
moms
end,
are.
let's do the only part we understood. Dagni Chambo, those big guys,
Turn out to be
The
Aryas.
Aryas.
which is those who've seen emptiness directly, they get free.
Free.
They get free.
Yeah.
Why? How?
Because, okay,
They use the wisdom.
Ngopo and Ngopo Mepani, when you say something's real and other things are unreal, those two concepts are mutually dependent. They rely on each other. You have to understand what real means to understand unreal. You have to understand unreal to understand what's real, okay? Therefore, when you see that they are dependent origination, in the higher sense of the word,
Whoa.
right?
Whoa.
Okay? Got it? You okay?
Where's
Does he
that?
say tendra?
Here, pens and tupa.
Pens and tippas and
Mutually dependent.
Okay.
It just means dependent origination, without the origination. Okay. When you see that these two are dependent, okay, then you have seen directly what it is to be empty.
Whoa.
Okay? When you see that unreality depends on reality and reality depends on unreality, then you have seen the nature of things, which is that they're empty. You have seen it directly. Okay? Yongsu Shepe.
That's cool.
And then he mentions Mikme Yeshe. Mikme Yeshe.
Wisdom, which is
Which sees nothing at all.
Yeah, where did we hear that before? Okay, slow down. Analambana, right?
near
Near Alambana. Okay. What's it mean? What's this mikpa mean?
Well, we were talking about objects. Like
It does mean object,
Yeah.
so stay there.
Yeah.
Okay, you accidentally went to the right place and just stay there. Okay, so mikpa means here it means object, and it means wisdom which has no object. Which means what?
That's what they see. That those Aryas.
That's how the wife should see the second husband in the kitchen.
That's the third choice.
especially. if the
Okay,
wife is
there
an
is
Arya.
no husband there
Yeah.
who didn't come from me. Okay, that's called migme. In Buddhism, that's called niralambana, which means no object. So that love, which is advocated by Tsongkhapa, so it got into his mantra as the opening line, is love with nothing it sees. This is wisdom with nothing it sees. Okay, which doesn't see any self-existent thing, is the punchline, right? Yeshike ten. Now, I take this ten to be object, and it's sometimes objects are called the support alambana, the support. Okay, sometimes, yeah, meaning they hold up the perception. They hold up the subject. Sometimes the subject and object are called basis and what relies on the basis. Okay, in Buddhism. So ten is a highly technical term for
This is
desha,
object.
yul, yul,
Yeah.
yul. Okay.
Yeah.
I take it to be there, that here, okay? That's what emptiness wisdom is focused on, and therefore those big guys can get freed if they see it, okay? Got it?
Yeah.
And then he backs it up with a lungi drupche, which means
Scriptural proof.
authority from scripture, and it's the same one.
Yeah, right. Rinchang, Ratnavali.
Okay, go ahead.
Rinchang tu nila mi ten tarpar ngyur shepe ton to.
Dun to. By the way, that the to is required after a D.
Right.
So it proves that,
There was a secondary.
yeah, maybe a couple hundred years ago there was a D after N. Okay, anyway, Richard, Nila miten tarpagyur. If you Nila miten tarpagyur.
If you stop seeing the discrepancy, you will become free.
What's this ni mean here?
Is the point.
Connected to the last Rinchen Tenwa quotation. Yepapa and mapapa. Yeah, okay. Don't say things exist, and don't say things don't exist.
Yeah.
Okay, don't go to either one. Nila miten. And if you can hold to that line between them, tarpagyur, you will be free. Which is, after all, the section that we were guaranteed back here. Yeah? If you realize neither is there, you get free. That was the whole section's name. Right? So now we go back to here.
Nipala.
Nipala. Nipala is the second one. I guess I didn't go get it for you. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll have to go back and get it for you at some point. But it doesn't matter because it has two divisions.
Yeah. Nipala. Taniki drupche gakpala lunki drupche mitepatang tetapla nyangde mitepao.
Okay, this is a little tricky. Tanyiki drup. What's not a little tricky with Gyaltsabje? Tanyiki drupche means proofs for yupa and mepa.
Gakpa?
Wait, we're getting there.
Okay.
Proofs for yupa and mepa. Somebody wants to prove that those are good approaches.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
Okay, somebody's trying to prove
That's fine.
that yes, either things exist the way they are, or if they don't exist the way they are, then they don't exist. Okay, and somebody's going to try to prove those two, that they are correct. Then we gakpa them,
Yeah.
and we gakpa them, we disprove them, we battle against them with two different weapons. The first weapon is
Proofs that
to show, careful, to show that their lungi drupche is mite.
to show that those scriptural proofs are incorrect.
Yeah, they're going to pull out scriptures. These are Hinayana guys to prove that we're wrong, and we're going to prove their scriptures are wrong.
Yeah.
Okay?
And then to prove that the idea that those could take you to nirvana are incorrect?
Their
idea of nirvana is incorrect?
Dedak means people who assert the two.
Yeah. Could reach nirvana?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to deny. So say the whole sentence. We're going to deny that people who assert either that
Things exist or
the way they are,
things exist.
they seem, or the way they seem,
or that they don't exist at all.
right? And
That those
we're going to prove that those guys,
scriptures are incorrect.
Nyangde Mite,
And then they can't reach nirvana.
yeah, they could never get to Nirvana.
Yeah.
They could never get to Nirvana, okay? We're going to do those two proofs. We're going to prove that their statements from Scripture about trying to prove the two extremes as correct are wrong. And then we're going to show why, if you hold to the two extremes, you'll never get to nirvana.
Right.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, so aren't their scriptures our scriptures? So we can't say they're incorrect, but they're misunderstood or something?
I would say as scriptural proofs are incorrect.
That's a good point.
As scriptural proofs, yeah, for Yepa and Mepa. Okay.
So what happened to...
By the way, I did get Yepa for you.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah, and I got a long one for you.
Uh-oh.
Okay, this comes from above.
Right.
The section we just came into, I did go get it for you. It's the second one here. No.
Oh, wow, cool.
It's this one. It's the second one here. Refuting arguments in favor of the two extreme views. We reached that part.
Cool.
Which is a subtopic of demonstrating that dependence is freedom from extreme positions.
Back in like the second verse of the
Okay.
That's so funny.
So I did go and get it for you.
Cool.
Now,
It sounds like an oxymoron. That dependence is freedom.
yeah, it's kind of cool. Okay, please read.
Tang pola, chipala mangepatang, pakpala tempamaju pao. CEG.
Yeah.
Chipala.
This is extremely deep, okay? This tiny sentence is extremely deep and difficult. Okay, Dambala, which means we're going to go to proving why their attempted proofs for the two extremes are incorrect. Okay?
Yep.
Your proofs. Now, this is in logic. It's called...
Unreliable source.
No, it's a tricky thing. You got to classify the logic differently if it's presented to people of two vastly different levels. Okay? You call the logic different things if it's presented to people of two vastly different levels. This logic you're proposing, if the person has not seen emptiness, is A. But if the person has seen emptiness, it's B. Okay, got it? Yeah. Okay, so your proofs that things do exist or don't exist, okay? Your proofs, if presented to a chiba,
Teenager.
yeah, we like to use teenager nowadays.
No, we've been using a 2-year-old.
Oh, a 2-year-old, I'm sorry. Yeah, teenager is a different one.
That's Kamalashila, right?
That was...
In Kamashin we had advanced chibas
yeah.
who heard the scriptures about emptiness but still haven't seen them.
Oh, I see.
Kamala Shila was proposing a third category.
I see.
He said, don't call it Aryas and non-Aryas. There's Aryas, there's non-Aryas, and there's better non-Aryas. At least they heard about the ideas.
So a teenager?
We called them teenagers, advanced 2-year-olds. Here's 2-year-old. Okay? Your logic, if presented to a person who has not seen emptiness directly, is Mangepa. And I was thinking, this gets into pretas. This gets into pretas. The principle of Mangepa, of uncertain logic, indefinite logic, has to do with the subject of, for example, pretas. Pretas cannot be confirmed by direct perception of a person who's not an advanced practitioner.
Right.
So if you talk about pretas to a normal person, if they're totally honest, they'd have to say, I'm not sure. You know, I'm not sure if what you're saying is right or wrong, okay? They have to say, I'm not sure. It's called mangepatak. It's a bad reason because it doesn't nail it down. It has loopholes. That's called mangepatak. Uncertain reason. But if it's presented to an Arya, if you present the same proofs to an Arya, they are flat out madhupa.
It's just unproven.
They're just wrong, okay? Okay, so I was thinking about if somebody said, oh, this guy's future Buddhahood doesn't exist, right? Your future Buddhahood doesn't exist. Spoken to a non-Arya is called an uncertain.
Wishy-washy.
You can't be sure whether it's correct or not.
Yeah.
But spoken to an Arya, they can say Tamadu. I saw my future Buddhahood with a pramana, with a correct perception. It's a wrong.
Yeah.
To say that to me is wrong. To say it to another person is questionable. Yeah, we can say questionable or wrong. Okay?
Cool.
At best, your arguments are questionable. At worst, they are flat out wrong. Okay, got it? Kind of cool. Okay, depending who you present them to. What arguments?
The argument.
Proofs of ye and me. Okay, cool. Okay.
Tang poni ngopo tang no me hye te. Korwa tang yang de hye pei chir. So.
Oh, wow.
He said, first of all, again.
Yeah.
He does that a lot. First of all, ngopo tang no me hye te. There are things that exist and don't exist. Korwa tang yang de hye pei. For example, well, he didn't say that, but samsara and nirvana are things that exist.
Yeah, you know, we gotta discuss this when we get to the translating, you know.
Yeah.
But it's something like there is life and there's beyond life. Okay, there's pain and there's beyond. It means that. Okay, there's what we see and there's something better coming. It's something like that. Okay, ngopo and ngume. Things you've realized and things that are to be realized. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean real and unreal here. It just means there's stuff going on and there's stuff not going on. Meaning, you can go to nirvana, you can go to Buddha paradise. You haven't seen it yet. Okay? You gotta understand it that way.
Okay. Doesn't mean things that don't.
No, it doesn't mean don't exist.
Oh, I thought maybe he was going to go and prove that talk about non-existing things next. But okay.
No, he's gonna talk about nirvana.
Okay, so
okay, and these are parallel. The ngopo is korwa, the ngume is nirvana. Okay.
So ngume is like things we don't see directly.
Well, let's not decide yet.
Okay.
Sometimes that's the best strategy. Okay.
Cool.
Okay. By the way, this is all part of when you make these statements to people who haven't seen emptiness, they are questionable by those people. They can't be sure correct or not. Mm-hmm. These statements made to an Arya are flat out lies.
That's why it's done.
Okay. Okay. So we say, look, things are there's two things here, the real and the beyond the real. See, I would say something like that. What's real? Right now it's the pain and the samsara. What's beyond the real? It's a nirvana which is waiting for you, okay? And then we say, kyabayote. Well, it must be that way, okay? It must be that way, okay?
Oh, sorry, kyabayote.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, hang on.
Dewa lempe kumpongai ngopo korwa hima te gyun chepe ngome nyangene de pa yimpe kornde me par hyang ma drupte te me na lang tor chawe chir tun par mi rikpa la.
I gotta join this up. Okay, now we see, okay, that this is the attempted scriptural proof for Yupa and Mepa by the other guy.
Got it.
Okay, and he says, look, there's only two choices. Things exist, things are real, or things are unreal. Because in this context, they are real means the pain we're in right now, and unreally good means nirvana. Okay, got it? And things are either one or the other. There is no third possibility as you are proposing. Okay? Well, third possibility in two senses. There's no third possibility that there's nothing. Either exist or not exist. And there's no possibility that there's we're going to propose a thing which is not self-existent as a third possibility, okay? Anyway, he says, look, things divide into Yupa and Mepa because they divide into ngopo and ngume, because they divide into samsara and nirvana. And Buddha taught that. So now he's going to give quotations. He's going to prove that Buddha said, look, either it's samsara or it's nirvana.
Could he be saying, functioning and unfunctioning again because
emptiness is
Yangde.
Yeah, no, Rangshingin Yangde, natural nirvana is emptiness.
Both nirvanas are ngume.
No.
Yeah, cessation is always in ngume.
In the sense of unchanging?
Yeah, nirvana.
Yeah, well, now you've just switched the meaning of unreal.
They're both true.
So all unchanging things are unreal?
Are ngume? Yeah, they are.
Space is unreal?
They're ngume. I didn't say it was unreal. I'm saying could he be taking...
No,
could he be functioning? Because
it'd be an easy way out, but he's not.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be a comfortable way out, but he's not. Not even comfortable, but he's going sexier. He wants sexier. Okay? Kabayate. That's the case because samsara consists of Pumbanga, Stanley's first chapter. Yeah, the 5 heaps, which are Nirvanamba.
Taken on a birth.
Good. I translated as taken on at birth.
No, I did.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
Well, it just says closely taken. The Sanskrit and the Tibetan is just closely taken.
But that's
and a few people have different opinions, but 95% they will say taken on. Closely taken means taken on at birth.
Yeah.
When you take birth. But there are other interpretations. Those real things, the things refers to the 5 heaps that you got when you were that your mom gave you. Okay, and that's samsara. Okay, now when you gyun chepa,
when you cut the stream,
bemrik gyun chepa.
You cut the flow of body and of particles and mind.
Cut the flow of
thoughts and
mind and body.
Yeah.
Is the lower school's definition of nirvana. Yeah, Sakme Nyangde. Okay? Nirvana with no remainder. Suddenly you pop out of existence. And that's the misconception of nirvana which has become common in the West. I don't want to achieve nirvana because I don't want to lead my family. What's real nirvana?
It's to say total cessation.
Yeah, you just can't get angry. No one in your family can upset you. That's nirvana. Yeah. It's not that you pop out of existence and your wife is crying that you left. Okay, that's a very lower school. But who is this book aimed at?
The lower school guys.
This is Nagarjuna's whole book, written to tell the Abhidharma school people, for example, Buddha did teach emptiness in your books. The 60 verses of Nagarjuna, one of his great...
7 books?
5 books? 7 logic books. Six, I'm sorry. Okay. Then, he wrote 6 famous
some people say there's 14
poems, long poems. And the specific purpose of this one that we chose to translate is to demonstrate to the lower schools that in the lower sutras, Buddha still taught the higher emptiness, which is very uncomfortable for them, okay? They want to say, for example, here, that nirvana is when you pop out of existence. Yeah. So for them, the mepa in yupa and mepa is popping nirvana. Yeah, don't go telling us there's no mepa. Are you saying there's no nirvana? Got it? There's no state of non-existence? So you're saying there's no nirvana? Because nirvana is to not exist anymore, according to them. Okay, the discontinuation of my flow, ginche, okay, is what unreal means here. Okay, meaning no longer existing. And when you say ngume here, you're referring back to the mepapa before. Okay, got it? Therefore, konde mepa yang madupte, angam depa yimbe, konde mepa yang madupte. And you cannot assert, moreover, that there's no samsara and there's no nirvana. Because if there's no samsara and there's no nirvana, okay, langdor chawe chir tumbar Mirik, it would have been wrong for the Buddha to say, one of these you have to give up, and one of these you have to seek. Okay? About nirvana and about samsara. Okay?
Give up.
Yeah, torwa, lang tor means give up one and follow the other.
Oh, I see. Long tour.
Yeah, lang means the nirvana side, tor means the samsara side. If there's no yupa and mepa, or if I believe in yupa and mepa, if it's true that if I believe in yupa and mepa, I cannot reach nirvana, then why did the Buddha divide everything into yupa and mepa?
Totally.
Okay, got it? Cool?
Yes, sir.
Tumba Mirik. What, did he make a boo-boo when he taught that?
Yeah.
You know, okay.
Yeah.
Are you saying Buddha made a boo-boo? Okay. Chandadek is the
Yeah.
The Buddha said it, not me. Chena, if you say that. Okay, now here's our answer. Here comes our answer.
Well, we are out of time.
Oh, shucks. Here's our answer. I don't care if we're out of time. Yeah, because he said it to the Aryas. Okay, then Tamadru. Okay. Because he taught about samsara and nirvana to make people who are not Aryas into Aryas.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, don't tell me he taught this to the Aryas.
Oh.
He didn't teach this to Aryas. He taught this to people who weren't Aryas because he wanted to make them into Aryas.
Okay, but then he's going to say, don't tell me he taught it to people who weren't Aryas.
Yeah, that's true too. Stop,
But we don't know why. Okay.
It's sexy.
Next bad
You're
time.
getting
Next
sexy,
bad
right?
channel.
Okay. Okay.
Cool.
Wait.
Oh, that was a heavy day.
Yeah.
I think it's because John's in the room. It's a little more high powered.
Hyperforce translator.
Sashi
Puki Jushing Meto Chamri Rabling Shi Nidegen Bagi Sangye Shindu Cool.
Thank you.
Nice day, you guys. An amazing text. Yeah. Hassel?
Yeah. I was wondering about this area in the lower school
Good.
thing. So,
Yeah.
because basically the schools get different between each other. Well, two main things: Hinayana and Mahayana, the motivation, but also the description of what emptiness is.
Yeah, exactly.
So then, if an area, a student or a practitioner of the lower way gets to become an area,
Yeah.
then they will perceive the only emptiness there is, with the
Exactly.
Money Jackson
Madhyamaka
Copper wrote a book
Prasangika.
on this.
So it's not the case that then they will realize that if the perception, the philosophical perception of emptiness doesn't match with the school that they reach it,
Yeah,
then
good.
also by implication,
Yeah.
so they will get to practice the bodhicitta part of the teachings.
Yeah, I'll say two things, and correct me if I'm wrong. We went through this. Anytime anyone sees emptiness directly, they are Prasangika. So that's the first answer. Yeah. So we can talk about lower arhats and lower aryas, and somehow they are. Maybe they belong to a school which doesn't talk about compassion or being a bodhisattva. You see. But if they see emptiness, they see the same emptiness that the Prasangika asserts. Now, deeper point, before you guys run away, and everyone who's ever reached Buddhahood did it with Tantra. And there are two, you gotta think about that.
It's always going to finally ripen as a
Do we need scripture on that?
I think it is in scripture. No, I'm not saying it. I read it somewhere. Don't ask me where.
There are lower areas.
Card
It's
17.
more that they reach the level of Arya following a lower track, but once they become an Arya, they have by implication
Yeah.
become at least philosophically.
Excellent. Lexo.
But
You said it very well.
if tantric scripture says that you have to use tantra as to become a Buddha, then can we accept it from the perspective of sutra?